Our installation video goes over 3 different ways you can have SQL installed for use with proVM. This one will cover SQL Express install as a named instance. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, there are 2 ways to install SQL Express, and just to give you an example here is a screenshot from our user guide, and you can choose either default or named instance and then designate a name like my server, for example. When you're installing SQL Express. Now, SQL Express is free from Microsoft in case you didn't know. Now, we recommend using default instance simply because there aren't any config changes needed for proVM to run properly. But if you choose named instance when you installed SQL Express, no worries. That's what this video is for. So I am running default instance on my box, but I can show you the tweaks you need to make with SQL Express itself. So let's get into the SQL Server Configuration Manager to make some tweaks. You can either search for it in your start bar or go to All Programs and find your version of SQL, and then go down to Configuration Tools and then SQL Server Configuration Manager, which I've actually already got it open here. Alright, the first thing we need to do is enable and start the SQL browser service. We'll click on SQL Server Services, and then we'll right click on SQL Server Browser and start it. Now if, which is already started, if these are grayed out, or if you go to properties and you're unable to start it here, you're going to need to go to services here and start it from your services first. And once it's been enabled, you can start the service by right clicking and choosing start under the configuration manager for SQL Server. We're also going to make some configuration changes to the TCP/IP connection. So to do this, we'll expand the SQL Server network configuration, and we're going to do the one that's expandable. This other one up here is for a 32-bit box, and I've got a 64-bit box here. And we'll go to protocols for your server name. And then we're going to make sure that all 3 of these, shared memory, named pipes, and TCP/IP, are all enabled. And then we're going to right click on a TCP/IP and select Properties, and then go to the IP addresses tab at the top and scroll all the way down to the bottom under IP all, and make sure this is expanded if it's not, and ensure that the TCP dynamic ports field is empty and your TCP port field is designated as 1433, and then click OK. And you'll then need to restart both the SQL Server and the SQL Server browser. To do this, you click on the SQL Server Services node, and then right click on your SQL Server and restart it, and SQL Server browser and restart it. Once you restart both services, you can close SQL Configuration Manager, and then you will go into your database settings of proVM Auditor here, which I've already got it up, and include both the server name / instance name of your named instance of SQL Express. So going with our previous screenshot, where's that bad boy at? We had my server as a named instance here, so we would just do localhost / my server. And then you would be able to click the build database button in proVM, and everything should work properly, and you should be able to good to go to import results and start working with your findings. If you have any questions about anything I've gone over, my contact details are in the About section of our YouTube video, or here at the Contact Us link of our website. May the force be with you.